Hello everyone and welcome. In the last tutorial, I showed you how to use blending modes to achieve this design. Today, we'll be taking it a step further and I'm going to show you how each blending mode can be applied to your images to achieve different results. Now, this is fantastic because these are the type of styles you get from Photoshop, but now they are within Divi and I'm going to show you how to use them properly. Before we get started, I have an announcement to make. I have a brand new course coming out called Divi Blueprint 3. Now, this course has everything that you need to get you up and running with Divi. So put aside all that stress and trying to work out what does what. This tutorial will show you everything. And if you click the link below, you'll be able to get a 50% discount when we launch. And also, if you haven't bought Divi yet, I also have a link where you can get a 10% discount. All right, so with that out of the way, let's dive in and let's get started. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to achieve different background styles using blending modes. All right, so let's start off with a brand new page. So I'm going to come over here to pages and click on add new. So I'm going to call this page cars and I'm going to click on use the Divi builder and then use visual builder. So first off, let's start by adding a background. So let's come over here to this settings icon. Let's click on background and let's click on this second tab. So I'm going to click this plus button to add our colors. So already you can see that instead of having a boring solid color, we can actually have different colors that blend into each other. So the colors I'm going to choose here are, we're going to choose a blue, and over here we're going to use a contrasting color. And what you could also do is you can move this around to choose your specific color, which is pretty cool. So you can always go back in and do your adjustments. Right, so now that we have that in place, let's come over here to the gradient direction. So you can actually drag this around and you can see which direction it's going. So if you're happy with that, you can just let go. And also you can also play around with this end position. But normally I leave this as it is. Okay, so now that we have that in place, let's come over here to the image. So I'm going to click this plus button here. If you don't have an image in your media library, you can go ahead and upload a brand new one. So I have the image I need to use. It's right here. So I'm going to click on it and then I'm going to click upload an image. Okay, so now we can see that our image is in the background. I'm going to close this for now, or save it rather. And then I'm going to come here and let's add a title to this. Okay, so I'm going to click on choose column structure. We're going to add a single column. And in that, we're going to add a call to action. So I'm just going to search for it, select call to action. So on the title, I'm just going to call this, let's call this new cars. On the button text, I could say watch trailer. And then on the content, let's just use some dummy text. So I'm going to come over here to Lorem 2. The reason why I use this is because it takes time to come up with the copy that you need to add in your website. So by using dummy text, it just makes the process much easier. So I'm just going to copy a chunk of this text, come over here and paste it in here like that. Now you can see the button is not showing. That's because it doesn't have a link. So let's come over here to the link. And for now, we're just going to add a blank URL. But in your case, you can add a proper URL. Okay, so we can see this background is a bit distracting. Let's get rid of it. So I'm going to come over here to background, use background color and set this to no. So now that we have that in place, this line here is taking a lot of space. In fact, it's all in a single line. So we need to break that a little bit. So let's come over here to text, and to break it, I'm just going to come over here and add this code BR to break it. So now that looks much better. In fact, maybe let me adjust that and add it right here so the lines are balanced. Okay, that's much better. Let's save for now. And then next, we need to get to see more of this image. So we are going to add some dividers. So I'm going to click this plus button here to add a new module. And our module is going to be a divider. So I'm going to select it. And I'm going to come over here to design, click on sizing. And let's give this a height of 120. Whoa. Okay, we're going to save it. Now we can't see where it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here to expand settings, and then I'm going to click on the wireframe mode. So we can see here the divider is right here at the bottom of the call to action. I'm going to duplicate that and then drag this to the top like that. Okay, now I can click this desktop view and now we can see our image there. Right, so what we need to do next is the fun part. This is where we get to play around with the blending modes. So I'm going to come over here to my settings, click on background. So right now we don't have any blending modes added. So we can start by clicking on multiply, and already we can see it has added a different style to it. Okay, now before we dive into this, there's one thing I need to do. Let's sort out our text first. So let's go back. In fact, let me save this for now. And let's go back into our call to action. And let's go to the header text. Let's increase that, make it really big. Yeah, maybe 60. Letter spacing, I'm going to add a bit of letter spacing to it like that. Maybe 12 will do. Body text, let's make it bold and let's make it slightly bigger. Right, so 24 is fine. And let's add a bit of line height. Okay, that's looking better. And then finally, let's go to the button and make the button bigger. Now, in order for you to make changes to the button, you need to make sure that use custom styles for button is activated. And then all I'm going to do here is to increase the size of the button. So in fact, that's a bit too big. Let's come down to about, say, 30 or even 28. Okay, that's better. I'm not keen on this animation, so if you want, you can leave it on there, but I'm not keen on that, so I'm going to disable it. So I'm going to come over here to add button icon, and I'm going to set it to no. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm going to go ahead now and save. Let's go back into our blending modes. So I'm going to click this gear icon to access our settings, click on background. So right now we're on multiply. So we moved away from our standard or normal image, right? Which you can see, it's okay, but it can be better, right? So we're going to come over here, add multiply, and now we have a bit of character to this, okay? We can always come here again, add screen, and that changes the whole thing. Now, this is one way you can also use this blending mode, and I like this because we can actually invert. So instead of having a white text, we can change this and make it dark. So let's save this for now, and let me show you what that would look like. So I'm going to come over here to our settings for our call to action. Now, for some reason, all the changes that we made have not been applied, but we can always go back in and fix that. So instead of having this text color as light, let's change that to dark, like that. Header text, we're going to make this bigger. We're going to add some letter spacing, right? So body text, we're going to increase that as well. Make it bold, and we're going to add some line height. Then I'm going to make the text black so we can really see it. And then we can also style the button if we need. But you can see now that by adding this contrast, we can now read the text easily because we have a lighter background. So that's one way you could apply this design. And then for our button, let's go into the settings and click on design. Click on button, use custom styles for button, and then here we can make our text color white or slight gray, and then the background color we can make that. So you can see now that looks much better. Okay, I'm going to save this for now, or in fact let's make the button slightly bigger. In order for us to do that, all we need to do is to add the button text size. Okay, so that's much better. I'm going to save for now. So that's one way you could do it. Let's go back into our settings and let's choose a different blending mode. So this one is screen. Let's click on overlay. Right, now this one is even stronger. So this is another really good one. But again, you have to invert these colors. So again, let's do that one more time. So I'm just going to save this for now. Come over here to our settings and I'm just going to make our text light. So we're going to change this to light. And come over here to the body text, change that to white. And then we're going to go to the button and change the button color as well. Okay, that's much better. Now we can see it's not quite easy to read. So let's come over here to our settings one more time, and I'm just going to search for background. So over here we need to add a background to our call to action. So I'm going to click on this option here which says use background colored. I'm going to set that to yes. So I'm going to come over here to the settings and then I'm going to choose black. So the trick here is to make this transparent. So I'm just going to drag the slide all the way down until we have it just about there where we can read it. Okay. So our button here, for some reason I've changed that color by mistake. So I'm going to come over here and change that. Okay. So that's one way you could actually show that. So let's go in and let's play around with some more blending modes. So again, we're going to come over here to the background. This time, instead of using overlay, let's try dark. Okay, that one doesn't really look nice. Lighten. That one doesn't look nice either. So the idea here is to just try these out and see which one really works well for you. Soft light. So I'd really like soft light. So, okay, let's go through these one more time. Okay, difference. I mean, that doesn't really work unless you're trying to create something that has that horror effect, or, you know what I mean. Exclusion. No, that doesn't work either. Hue. Not at all. Saturation. That's even worse. Okay, so these last ones don't really work. I really love this luminosity. So that's something that you can use. But for now, I'm going to end this tutorial on soft light. So I'm going to save this for now. And I'm going to come over here to my settings and make sure that I remove that background. So I'm going to come over here to design. I'm going to search for background. And then I'm going to say no to that. So this is very subtle, but again, it really, really works. So this is how you can use these new blending modes in Divi. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. And also, if you have any questions, do ask your questions in the comments box below. Be sure to go to diviuniversity.com and subscribe. By subscribing, I'll be making a lot of announcements. Some of them, or rather most of them, will not make it to the YouTube channel. So by subscribing over there, you'll be notified with the latest developments and any discounts or anything that's going on around Divi University. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon.